Hi, we're waiting for the second budget of 2022. The Treasurer has reaffirmed the Labor government's commitment to multinational tax changes. So we're certain that we're going to see some of the detail about the changes to the thin capitalisation rules, the rules about royalty payments to tax havens, and potentially the public disclosure of country-by-country reporting information to the public. The Treasurer has been very clear that he sees this budget as the first in a series. What we think will happen as a result of that, drawing on the UK experience, is that the public really has no appetite for tax cuts in an inflationary environment. We also think that the recent Queensland land tax experience means that governments will probably have no appetite for revenue raising where that comes at a huge compliance cost. I think the public is able to assume that fiscal policy in Australia is going to work hand in hand with monetary policy. So what that means is we don't expect to see big revenue returns to people in the form of tax cuts, but equally, we don't expect to see massive revenue raising measures in this budget. I think the size of the stage 3 tax cuts are up for grabs in this budget, but the Treasurer may choose to wait until next year's May budget to come to a final conclusion about that. The other thing that we are likely to see in this budget, which will also affect multinationals, is an ongoing commitment to the OECD's Pillar 1 and Pillar 2 international tax framework reforms. Perhaps we'll see some tinkering at the edges for where the government wants to collect some more tax. The recent announcement about franking credits being paid by companies that have made capital raisings is an indication of the sort of tinkering that we might see announced in this budget. And finally, our ever-present question, does the government have any appetite for tax reform? Are we going to see an Australian tax system that is made simpler and more efficient? We think it's time, and if this is the first in a series of budgets and not to be seen as a standalone, now would be the time to announce an inquiry into the reform of the Australian tax system so that we got root and branch approach to the analysis. We'll have to wait for another 4 weeks to find out what is going on in this year's budget. I look forward to talking to you again then.